Hello and welcome back to Markplex and to this second video on tutorial 109 real time. And this video, this program, the program described in this tutorial is available for download with the other real-time video as I mentioned in the first video, and you probably want to look at that first real-time video because it applies to this functionality as well. And you can see on this particular chart, which incidentally is a euro dollar tick chart, but what I've got is format symbol, the volume set to tick count, and I've got the three different programs actually. This is the program we're talking about now, the top level. This one is the real-time program that we looked at in the previous video, and this is the original program that we looked at when we first did tutorial 109. Now the big difference of this new one is if we look at the developing bar, we'll notice that it has time in down to the millisecond accuracy. The other thing that we've got here, we've got the alert bars. You can see here these cyan type bars. We've also got another user input, so bars that are below a certain amount are also highlighted. We've got the same alert functionality, and what we've done though is slightly changed. So rather than hard coding the colors, if we go to the program, or rather to the inputs, you'll see here that we've got colors which are specified in the color object format, which gives us more capability of changing those to what we require. And so let's just go through. As I mentioned, the new bars, the bars forming down to the millisecond accuracy, and you can see here these are just down to the second accuracy. The historic bars are just shown to the second accuracy. So let's have a quick look around the program. Some things have changed, some things not. The biggest change is that we're using, in order to get that millisecond accuracy, the stopwatch object. And we're creating a stopwatch object, and then we're using that when we have real-time bars. So we've got similar functionality here for the new bar as I described in the previous program, except this time what we do is we reset and then we start the timer. Also, if it's the first real-time bar, in other words the magenta bar, when the program is first applied to the chart, then we set a intrabar persist variable first RT bar to equal false. So in the if we have a real-time bar and the status is that it's the last tick of the bar, then we set new bar to true. As you may recall from the last video, we do that so that when we get to the new bar, the real-time bar, we know that it is the first tick of that bar, and we can then record the bar date time of that new bar. The other thing that we do just once, and this is really for the bar that when it is first applied, the magenta bar, is we start the timer here. Now this is only going to be a partial bar because the bar has already started, and a certain portion of it was completed as an historic bar. So what we do, we start the timer, but we also record what that portion is based on bar date time minus bar date time 1 bar ago. So the bar duration for real-time bars is going to be equal to the bar timer dot elapsed milliseconds divided by 1,000 to give us the information in seconds. However, for the if it's the first real-time bar, the bar duration is actually going to be equal to this bar duration plus the portion that was completed historically. In other words, this value here. And then having done that, we calculate for historic bars, it's bar date time minus bar date time 1 bar ago. And again, in this version and in the other real-time version, I have not accounted for non-continuous situations where you could have a big gap overnight, which is going to make that bar look very large. It's probably going to put out of kilter all the other bars. But I mentioned you could possibly find ways of dealing with that yourself if you wanted to use those particular bars. And then as far as the color is concerned, if it's not a real-time bar, GetApp Info real-time AI real-time calc is not one, then we can plot at the color historic. Incidentally, we get that information using color dot from name to RGB and then the color. If it is the first real-time bar, then we plot it with the color which we call color first. Else, so it's not a historic, it's not the first bar, it must be a real-time bar, so we then color it with the color real-time. Then the only other thing that we do is if or two things we do: if the bar duration is greater than alert duration, we plot the color as color alert, assuming that it's not the color first bar, which is similar to the last version. We also do an alert. And if the bar duration is less than the alert duration low, in other words, it's a particularly low bar, or at least it's below your user input value, then again, if it's not the color first bar, then we change it to color alert low. Okay, so hopefully this might be of use to you. As I mentioned, the first real-time version is available for free for Gold Pass members. Both this version and the other version are available for download for a nominal fee. So if you have any questions, please email.